Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome back to 10 at a Time, the short long form show. I am your host, Widlin Pierreville. Yes, this is a Christmas tree behind me. I put it up already because I do believe I am better than you. Roll the tape. Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open. Hey, what's up? I've had this tree up for quite some time. I've actually had this tree up since before Halloween because I ordered all this stuff in order to do like this thing with Crocs, and I just never took it down. So I did have the tree up before you, but I'll probably have it up after you as well. If no one comes to pick it up from me directly, I'll probably leave this tree up until the last day of my life. Hey, guys, the internet is fractured in so many directions this week. I mean, there's so much to get into. And so let's start with what we're not talking about. And you guys already know the premise. 10 minutes, I'm going to start the timer this week, actually, so we can stay honest about it. But 10 minutes, and I'm going to go in on whatever the fuck I decide to go in on, okay? And when the timer's done, we got to move on. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I will turn this car around. Actually, I cannot turn the car around. I have to keep driving it towards the destination. That's the premise of the show. Get me? Got me? Good. Let's start with what we're not talking about. And there's actually not much that we're not talking about this week because we're actually talking about everything under the sun. The first thing that we're not talking about this week is not to beat a dead horse. A couple of weeks ago, I came to you guys and I told you about the Rolling Stones 250 greatest songs of the millennia, right? From 2000 all the way to today, January 1st to right now. And I told you about all these songs that I thought deserved to be in the top 10, the top 25, the top 50, the top 100, and those songs are great songs. Some of them I think are paid spots. Some of them I think, I don't know if I would put Selena Gomez's Can't Keep My Hands to Myself this high on the list, but I'll let it slide because right now, in the moment, in the time, I couldn't think of anything that was better, that was more deserving. And then some time passed and I realized that not one show tune musical theater song was on the list. That was crazy to me. Hamilton, Waitress, We Don't Talk About Bruno, Encanto, Moana. All of these are Lin-Manuel Miranda projects. Let me say his name correctly. All of these are Lin-Manuel Miranda projects, but that's not even all of what it is. Spring Awakening. What? Hello. Rent. What? Hello. Rent might have been the 90s. I won't even do too much on that. But all of these hit musical theater songs that literally are some of the best written songs in all of music ever. No noise at all. Next to Normal won a Pulitzer Prize. No noise whatsoever. I thought that was crazy. You know what is fucking crazier to me? And we really can't get into it because again, we're not talking about it today because I don't want to rehash this whole thing. You know what else isn't on the Rolling Stones 250 greatest songs of the new millennium, 2000 to right now? You know what else isn't on that playlist? Bedrock by Young Money. And at this point the whole list is defrauded. The whole list is fraudulent and everybody at Rolling Stones is under scrutiny. None of you know what it's like to be riding the 8th grade bus and begging the bus driver to turn on the radio so that you can hear Bedrock for the 10th time that day at 8 a.m. None of you know what that's like? Okay, I get it. Let me think. I guess it's my turn. I think it's time to put this on your sideburn. He say I'm bad. He probably right. Come on, you guys, weren't you there? Nicki Minaj's verse alone in Bedrock is one of the greatest verses in all of history of music, let alone the 21st century. It couldn't make the list even once. This was pre-Avengers. We had never seen a moment in culture where this many icons came together in one place. You know? Lil Wayne is Nick Fury because he got the team together. Nicki Minaj might be Iron Man. There's too much to contain. Billionaire playboy philanthropist Nicki Minaj. Drake might be Captain America. And there is a feud brewing there. Birdman is Groot. No. Who is Groot? Gutta Gutta. Gutta Gutta is Groot. I put her under. No Stevie Wonder. You don't need to wonder. Cause she knows she bad. Birdman is someone else. Whoever else is on that track. I mean, this was like, no one on that track really was relevant besides Nicki Minaj, Lil Wayne, Drake, and Gutta Gutta, who made you sure that he was Gutta Gutta. And Gotta nigga, grocery bag. Ooh, baby, I just talk to you like glue, baby. Wanna spend it all on you, baby. Bedrock single-handedly. Bedrock alone has its own Wikipedia page. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. My room is the G-spot. Wait, the Lloyd singing the hook of Bedrock? Ooh, baby. Clearly the people at Rolling Stone do not understand that the history of music can be divided evenly, cleanly in the ADBC split between before Bedrock and after Bedrock. There's BB and AB, before Bedrock and after Bedrock, nothing in between. Do you get that? It changed everything, guys. You're lucky you put a milli on the list, and that's all I'll say for right now. I like the way you walking if you walking my way. Crazy. I said, Nikki, don't stop. You the bestest. And I just keep coming off the top. Asbestos. This was the prime, guys. This was the prime. Hip hop was never the same, and hip hop was the biggest genre of music in the world for like 20 years. I love your sushi roll. You're hotter than wasabi. I race for your love. Shake and bake. Ricky Bobby. I'm at the W, girl. I can't meet you in the lobby. Girl, I got to watch my back. I'm not just anybody. Guys, that fed generations. Rolling Stone, you really have to check in with who the fuck is writing in your offices because they didn't do their due diligence. I get that there's payola and whatever involved. Maybe you have to put Can't Keep My Hands to Myself by Selena Gomez on the list, but in place of Bedrock by Young Money is it crazy, dude. It's crazy. I actually like Can't Keep My Hands to Myself by Selena Gomez. I don't even want to do too much on that song. Can't keep my hands to myself. I like that song. And you know what? I can't even, but let's just be honest about what's going on between us. Okay? Now that we're done not talking about that, let's actually get into what we are talking about. What we are talking about today is the Danish delusion. Guys, I didn't want to do it, but I had to do it because it's actually insane. And you guys tagged me so much and so often, people begging me to talk in long form about the Danish delusion, which we will get into in just a little bit. What we are also talking about is the quarter zip movement. Young black men everywhere are redefining what it means to dress for themselves. We're also going to talk about anime evangelicalism. You heard that right. No explanation. Anime evangelicalism. And actually, let's start at the very top of this, which is that if you're watching Dancing with the Stars and you've been watching me watch Dancing with the Stars, then you know that I'm in fucking mourning, dude. Whitney eliminated from Dancing with the Stars. The saddest thing about Whitney being eliminated from Dancing with the Stars is that I was a fool, and it actually took me way too long to realize that she was my hero and she was my one. You know what I'm saying? You know when you realize that the love of your life is the love of your life too late? Can't relate to you. The love of my life is in the other room. But somebody relates to that. Maybe not me, but somebody does. There's a rom-com about that, I'm sure. It's like, what kind of cruel injustice is it that Dancing with the Stars, a dance competition, spent weeks trying to get someone who objectively cannot dance eliminated off of the show? We watched woman after woman after woman get chopped at the knees and escorted off of the ballroom floor because they didn't smile when they were supposed to, because maybe they made a face they shouldn't have. They didn't cheer loud enough for the other dancers. I don't know. People thought they were mean girls. They had bad attitudes, whatever. They were policing the shit out of these women. Lauren will never forget you and the injustice that you survived. Andy gets eliminated from Dancing with the Stars, and then the very next week, the best dancer, maybe one of the best dancers to ever be on the show, gets eliminated. Do you get how ridiculous that sounds? What am I supposed to do? What kind of cruel injustice is that? A week after Andy only making it 1 week less than Whitney is crazy, and Whitney not making it to the finals of Dancing with the Stars when 5 people are there, and I don't want to name names besides Dylan Efron. Oh God, I don't want to be this person, but Dylan. People keep trying to convince me that Dylan is a good dancer, but I saw his cha-cha. It was the whitest thing I've ever seen, dude. Do you guys remember that comedy troupe, The Whitest Kids You Know? Do you guys remember those, like, that they were like a sketch comedy group on YouTube? Dylan Efron is whiter than those guys. It's just like, it was so sauceless, that cha-cha. And there goes Derek Huff in the back, giving him a standing ovation before the dance is even over. It's Prince night, and I've never seen someone more Caucasian. It's upsetting to me. And it's upsetting to me and my homegirls, especially, like, right in front of our salads, because I'm watching Robert Irwin and he doesn't get any of the excuses that Dylan Efron gets. And you know who definitely doesn't get the excuses that Dylan Efron gets? Whitney. Apparently, people are upset that Whitney, on this new season of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, explicitly talked about the fact that she did not want to come back to the show. That makes sense to me. We'll get to that in a second. But she comes back to the show because it's announced that all of the girls on the show are going to get the opportunity to audition audition for Dancing with the Stars. So she's like, okay, I'll sign that contract. People are like, oh, you don't even really want to be here. You're opportunistic. Sorry, dude. Who on reality TV is not opportunistic? Do you think these girls are here out of the kindness of their fucking hearts? You think this is a volunteer program like the Boys and Girls Club of America? That's not what this is. This is a reality TV. This is The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, sponsored and funded by, who does that show? HBO? No, Hulu. Done by Hulu, whoever Hulu is, Disney, I don't know. It's crazy to me that you guys could see a woman who is like, damn, I want to advance my career and I'm going to take the steps that are necessary to do it in the way that I would like to do it. I have a dream and I'm going to sacrifice in one place of my career in order to activate and actualize my dream in another part of my career. And you're mad at her for that, dude? And this is what I'm saying about, this is what I was saying last week about what it means to like over-identify with losers. Because when you over-identify with these people on TV who don't actually take the initiative to like activate around their own lives, you think that shit is supposed to fall into people's laps and that's what it means to be worthy. No! You have to fight for things, man! This isn't some fucking convenient TV show plot where like, oh, I was quirky and awkward and things just kind of happened for me and I'm just the luckiest girl in the world. I respect you, Whitney. She's ambitious. She's hungry. I like that shit. I like it. These dweebs on the internet hating on Whitney for showing up for herself in ways that they could never. That was so crazy to me. Some people are saying that Whitney got eliminated from the show like the producers did it because she cursed on TV. No one cares that Whitney Levitt cursed on TV, guys. We got to let that go. But anyway, the moral of the story is what these people have done by trying so hard to punish Whitney for being so excellent. You know what I mean? For hating on Whitney relentlessly, for preying on her downfall, even though she was objectively the most qualified person. I mean, you guys are these people are the people in the stories that we talk about. You know what I mean? These people are the people in the stories that we talk about. That like villains, monsters, an angry mob at the window. All of you people have truly radicalized me into a Whitney Levitt fan. And I never thought I would say that. You know how fucking ridiculous I feel saying that I'm a true fan of this white Mormon woman from Utah. You know how anxious that makes me to know that inevitably that's going to blow up in my face, and yet here I am. I logged in. Listen, this is what I'm saying about The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I signed up to be Whitney Levitt's lawyer. My name is Woodland Pierreville, internet attorney, online lawyer. And my first client, my first defendant is Whitney Levitt. And I went to the source to find out what the hell was going on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. I watched one episode. Let me tell you something. That was some of the darkest shit I've ever seen in my entire life. I couldn't do it. I tapped out. I watched the last 10 minutes with Steph. The episode ended. They're doing a preview of what's to come in the season after I just watched Taylor Frankie Paul get arrested for domestic violence or whatever the fuck with her alcoholic or like formerly addicted boyfriend who she might be pregnant by or has a miscarriage by. Do you get the thing? Did you hear all the things that I just said, the sentence that I just said, and all of the things that contained inside of it? Right. The episode is ending. I turn to Steph and I say, girl, she's like, that was dark as fuck. It was dark as fuck. I don't think I can do it. Like, actually, I have watched three episodes since then, but I don't think that I can do it. And here's the problem. One thing that I will say is off rip from the very top, from what I have seen, Whitney Levitt is not the villain. Yeah, she didn't go to Taylor Frankie Paul's baby shower and she didn't even text her first. I don't care. I don't care. As of right now, I'm telling you, I don't care. Here's why. Taylor Frankie Paul blew that girl's life up to the point where people started digging into her marriage and a scandal was uncovered. Mind you, I don't know that much about Connor Levitt, but I will say this. I love bisexuals and I love the Levitt household. Let me not speculate that. I don't know anything about those people. I'm sorry, but it was funny. Let's move on. Connor Levitt is apologizing to Whitney for whatever the fuck he did. He's like, I don't want what happened to me and my situation to be spoken about in the same circumstance as you and our situation and what I did to you, because those are actions that I took and that's a way that I hurt my wife. That man shows remorse. He takes accountability. He speaks towards the future and what he's going to do to change. I'm not going to lie. That seems like more emotional literacy than I imagine I can expect from any of the other men on this show. I'm not going to lie to you. In that moment, I said he did what he did. He fucked up. He definitely fucked up. But on a show where the protagonist woman literally is talking about bringing a speculative addict, 4 weeks after a divorce from her husband where she just ruined all of her friends' lives and blew up their private, intimate sexual history. If that woman's the protagonist of this show and I'm supposed to root for her, I'm sorry. I can spare a little bit of forgiveness for Connor Levitt. Sorry. So far, he seems like a pretty decent dude. Maybe he turns super evil in the end. I'm not quite sure. But as of right now, that was maybe one of the most literate apologies I've seen on television, on reality television especially. Let's move on from that, right? Taylor, Frankie Paul, and Whitney meet up at the restaurant. Episode 1. Taylor is like, yeah, I don't even know why you moved to Hawaii. You still haven't even told me that. I have no idea. I'm like, Taylor, did you not go on fucking TikTok live and tell the world that you and all of your friends fucked each other and each other's husbands? What do you mean you don't know why she left to Hawaii? Also, don't want to root for Whitney Levitt because why did you move to Hawaii? Free Hawaii. Let's move on from that. But all that being said, why are you acting obtuse? Whitney says, well, you kind of blew my spot up. Taylor, Frankie Paul says, yeah, I mean, what do you want me to apologize? I'm not going to apologize. So you don't want to apologize. You don't even want to apologize or acknowledge that you did anything kind of fucking weird when you got on TikTok live and told everybody that we maybe did, maybe didn't fuck. You don't even want to apologize. You don't think it's even worth apologizing for what you put me and my family through and my business through. And that's the thing too. Y'all hate Whitney because she's a businesswoman. You don't even want to apologize, Taylor. But I'm supposed to show up for you as a friend and all this, that, and the third. Girl, fuck the friendship. Fuck the friendship. Friends say sorry when they do shit like that. That's the least you can do. That's not even something that you should even really be able to say sorry for. Because what do you mean? Anyway, The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. It's a super dark show because they are grappling with all of this really heavy subject matter, and they keep trying to skate over it like it's the Kardashians or something. But it's not 2006 anymore. We're not talking about Kim losing an earring in the ocean. We're not talking about running a boutique called Dash, right? We're talking about these women grappling with their indoctrination into a culture that they don't seem to align with anymore. They're doing this show and they keep talking about how, they think it's anti-patriarchal. They're framing it as anti-patriarchal. These are business women. These are women in entertainment who are the breadwinners of their family. And then they sprinkle in some shit about being child brides who married a 21-year-old when they were 16. What? Wait, whoa, hold on. Whoa. Wait a minute. They're finding loopholes in their spiritual scripture to justify doing the things that they actually want to do, like getting Botox. But also they don't know if they want to get Botox because of the Botox or because they want to get high with laughing gas. I mean, they have restricted sexuality. I mean, these are traumatized women, and they're existing in the cult. Like, the culture that traumatized them is actually at the forefront of the show. So anytime they do something that's like kind of weird, you're like, oh, well, I guess I can't really be too mad at you because your mom forced you to marry someone when you were a teenager. Damn, this is kind of heavy. It's heavy as fuck. It's spooky, man. Sorry, now that I mentioned it, I do have to talk about Dash from the hit series Keeping Up with the Kardashians, which I did used to love. Me and my mom used to love Keeping Up with the Kardashians. That was the show that we watched together all the time. Every Thursday. She knew the date, she knew the time. Even when she was in the hospital, it'd be a Thursday, she'd be like, the Kardashians are on. She loved those messy Caucasian women. She did. And here's the thing. I don't think that people are aware that Keeping Up with the Kardashians launched its own like MCU style cinematic television universe. Do you guys remember Dash Dolls? 2015, Dash Dolls on E! Network. It was a spin-off series of Keeping Up with the Kardashians where they just focused on the girls who worked in the Dash boutique in LA, in Calabasas. Mind you, the star of the show was Malika Hawk and her twin sister Khadijah Hawk from Sky High in Atlanta. ATL. Which honestly, I remember seeing Malika on Keeping Up with the Kardashians and being like, girl, aren't you an actress? I feel like that was a better trajectory for her. I remember seeing her every time and I was like, you don't belong here. You belong on the silver screen, my love. Malika, where you at? Where you at, Malika, Khadijah? I don't know. They're probably doing fine. Anyway, this show was literally nothingness about them running the boutique, the Dash boutique. It was so contrived, put on, whatever. It was ass. And it was like these black girls running this boutique as the managers, bossing around this like team of all white women, maybe Armenian women, Eastern European women. I don't know. But it was a mess. It was a mess. And it was all fake. Another spinoff of Keeping Up with the Kardashians. Do you guys remember Flip It Like Disick? Yeah, baby, Flip It Like Disick. Scott Disick had a home improvement show where he like flipped home projects. I remember like him working on Khloe Kardashian's pool and being like, the pool is super outdated. And anyway, look, all of this was awful. And the thing about the Kardashian universe is that like the further each of them strayed into each of these spinoffs, except for Khloe and Kourtney Take New York, Khloe and Kourtney Take Miami, and Khloe and Kourtney Take New York. excellent TV. I could never have anything bad to say about that. That's because it was mostly a documentary film about Scott Disick being an alcoholic and the dissolving of Kourtney Kardashian's relationship to him. Not marriage, because they never got married. Oh my God. And he wanted it so bad. He didn't earn it though. Anyway, the thing is that the further each of the Kardashian projects strayed from the core, the Kardashian core, the more you realize that there wasn't really anything going on here. Those shows sucked. They sucked. The shows were really bad. But anyway, this is the last thing I want to say on this, and then we have to move on. Timothée Chalamet, you owe a lot to Scott Disick. Timothée Chalamet owes a lot to Scott Disick for priming the culture for a skinny brunette from New York. A skinny brunette man from New York with a taste for antics and a silver tongue. I think Scott Disick did more to set the stage for Timothée Chalamet than anyone in culture is willing to admit, and I'm going to say it proudly and boldly here. And then Timothée Chalamet entered the Kardashian ecosystem. I wonder if Timothée Chalamet and Scott Disick pass each other in the halls of the Kardashian home. And I wonder if they see their reflection in one another. I wonder if Timothy has thanked him personally. No one sees these things but me. Let's move on. Oh, guys. Let's move on. Guys, 24 parts. 25, 26 maybe. The Danish Deception. Risa Tisa, you will pay for your crimes. Thank you so much for what you did, Risa Tisa. Who the fuck did I marry? Changed the world. But also, it opened the floodgates. Everybody with an iPhone 12 or beyond thinks that they can get on here and tell a 30-part story about some shit that they need to keep to themselves. I'm not going to lie to you. Should have kept it to yourself. For real. What is the Danish Deception? If you don't know, the Danish Deception is a story by a woman named Onyeka. She's Nigerian. I hope that I'm pronouncing that right. See, Onyeka had a problem. Onyeka needed a man real bad, and she was on vacation. She was on vacation somewhere in Europe, like Monaco or something like that, somewhere Scandinavian or Eastern European, whatever. And she meets a man and immediately falls in love with him. And by immediately falls in love, I mean that in the first week after meeting this man, they exchange numbers. They're talking long distance after she returns back to the U.S. A couple days later, they decide that they need to see each other again. She flies out to Monaco to meet him on a business trip. And on that trip to Monaco, less than 2 weeks after meeting this man, she tells him that she loves him. They decide to go to Paris. They decide to go to France. They decide to go to Colombia. They decide to go everywhere but back to the fucking house. Over the course of this story, this woman, Onyeka, who is a former contestant on The Bachelor, she was one of the women on The Bachelor, 8 years ago or something like that. It was the season of The Bachelor where The Bachelor, after it was over, came out of the closet as gay. Whatever season of The Bachelor that was, she was on that season of The Bachelor. Over the course of this story that she's telling about this relationship that she had with this man, she talks about him scamming her friends, and her family out of essentially $300,000, $400,000, $500,000. I think it's somewhere close to $500,000. And what's hard about talking about it is that I think that I want to hold grace for this woman. I don't want to victim blame. But the issue is that even inside of grace is not immunity. Grace is not, a get out of jail free card where you have nothing to answer for and there are no questions that we get to ask and we just have to support you blindly in the thing that you're talking about. Grace, I think, can still, I think that even if we dig deep and really get to the center of it, it might be uncomfortable, it might sound harsh, it might be, a little intense. And that can even still be the graceful version of this because it's actually so bombastic, right? Grace is like grading on a curve. The professor can still grade the exam on a curve and it can still be true that you got an F because it was actually so crazy, Onyeka. It was actually so crazy, babe. Within the first 2 months of meeting this guy, he's telling her that he's part of the royal family of Denmark. He's part of the royal Danish family. And if they ever get serious, then she's going to have to meet the queen. And he's a 2-time Olympic medalist for handball or racquetball or something. He's talking about how he has a multi-million-dollar trust fund or something. And then he talks about investing in some properties or something like that. And then while investing in those properties, something goes wrong. He needs a loan. His dad won't give it to him, so on and so forth. And it all leads to him asking for $3,000 and then $10,000 and then $15,000. And she keeps giving him more and more and more money. Mind you, she's running out of money via her own story. She's running out of money. I couldn't really listen to the story past part. Dwayne, do not go. Hey. Do not. I really couldn't make it past like part 16 of the story because it started to make me queasy. I had to just look up a synopsis. When I tell you that this girl is smiling through the story of how this man scammed her out of almost everything she had, and they kept going on vacations. She's running out of money because she's given this man like $30,000. They keep taking trips. Literally in the span of like 6 months, they travel more than I've traveled in the last like 5 years, dude. They go on more vacations than I've had in the last like in all of my life, really, truly. They're like celebrating everything. They're like, let's celebrate. Oh, you bought that investment property with the money that I gave you. Let's go on vacation. And then they keep going on vacation, and she's using her credit card. And then also she's like, he paid for everything. And it's like, he paid for everything with the money that you gave him. You just gave him. Hold on, stop. Because you gave him $15,000 and then he took you on a trip somewhere. But the money that hold on. Why? And I'm really trying to understand why this lady is like turning her brain off. She's not doing the basic math or reasoning or logic. I don't know, man. It's freaky. It's actually so painful to like hear her tell the story of like the kind of cognitive dissonance that she had to deny that what was going on was going on. They're like, oh yeah, we ended up going back to Portugal, a second trip. There's 2 trips to Portugal across the whole story. She's talking about like 2 months in, dude. 2 months in, being like, damn, we have to get serious about this long distance thing and think about what our options are for the future. So she contacts an immigration lawyer to see what the options are to get him a visa. They find out that it's going to take 18 months to get him a visa unless they get like a rush marriage. And she's like, well, I'd marry you right now. You've known this nigga for 2 months. You're going to piss me off, dude. You're going to piss me off really bad. This is not The Bachelor. Hey, this isn't The Bachelor. So she gets like a rush Vegas marriage to this man, and then they save the actual proposal, like ceremonial marriage, for like a more significant time. But they get the rush marriage for the logistics of the visa. Hey, and this is, guys, you got to understand, this pisses me off because to me, I'm like, marriage is a contract. It's actually like the actual business, like lawful part of the marriage is more important than the ceremonial part of the marriage. Like the ring is all that is cool, but like think of the contractual obligations that you're making to a person when you sign that paper at the courthouse. What do you mean you saved the ceremony part of the getting on one knee and the ring and the whatever for later because that's more important to you? You're not thinking through this. And this lady works in like real estate law or something like that. She has a very logistics forward job that she quits on the second trip to Portugal because this man who actively owes her more than $30,000 sees that she's stressed out working through the time change, the time difference from the job that she has in Texas to the vacation that they're on in Portugal. She's not enjoying herself. And he says, why don't you just quit? Just quit your job. I'll be a provider for you. He owes you $30K. He owes you money right now. She's like, I felt comfortable with it because he was making $400,000 a year. $400,000 what? Was it $400,000? Why would a man making $400,000 need to borrow $3,000 at a time from you across multiple weeks? Why would you sending him money be so urgent? He's sending it like every day. He's checking up on whether you sent the money because he needs $15,000 and you can only send it $3,000 at a time. So you send it across 5 days and every day he checks up on it. He makes $400K a year. Unless he makes 400 Danish dollars a year, Denmark dollars. I think they're called like kronks or something. Because 400,000 kronks translates to about 40 American bands. I would understand why he's moving the way he's moving if he only makes 40K USD a year. Why he would need so much fucking money from you. That would make more sense. No one is that this lady across the entire story never asks a follow-up question. Come to find out, this man has a gambling addiction. He's gone behind her back to reach out to her friend to ask for $200,000 as an investment. The friend reaches out to her and says, hey, your man owes my husband $200,000 that he said he was going to invest in crypto or watches or something, and we never saw the money again. Can you ask about that? She's like, what the fuck do you mean? She asks her man, are you gambling? Bro, the money, everybody's money is weird in this story. Everybody's money is not adding up. What do you mean? And she's like, after finding out that this man lost her friend's $200,000, they make a payment plan to pay her friend back. Her friend who literally should call law enforcement. Sorry, not to get carceral about it, but lock this nigga up. Mind you, beautiful black woman. Sorry, I should have started with that. Beautiful black woman. This dude is Danish. He's Caucasian. And that's actually a huge part of the story. No, I told you she's Nigerian. She's Nigerian. He's white. At the beginning of the story, she's like, he was beautiful and handsome. He looked like a Calvin Klein model. This dude looks like just some regular nigga. He looks like he looks like what your white gym teacher would have looked like in like middle school. You know what I mean? He's hot for like a high school baseball coach. Like he's hot like in that way, you know? Which is it's not super like, anyway, they set up a payment plan to pay back this lady $200,000 that he stole from her husband, and then immediately go to Colombia. And in Colombia, he gets on one knee and proposes to her, and she says yes. Onyeka says yes. After he owes her more than $30K, stole $200K from her homegirl, so on and so forth. He goes on to take money from her father, to take money from her sister, to take money from everybody that she knows. And at the end of the fucking day, he leaves her. She does not leave him. He leaves her. And this is why I say that in some instances, Dr. Umar might save lives. There's nothing to say. There's only so much grace I can have. And, it's like, yes, Onyeka is a victim. And honestly, for this man to get it over this many Nigerians back to back to back to back who are not dumb people, very like, you know what I mean? A lot of Nigerian culture is very similar to Haitian culture, which is that like you have to keep your wits about you. Even inside your own family, you can't be pressing up and rubbing up against everybody. In Haitian culture, I imagine Nigerian culture, from what I hear, is pretty similar. Beautiful people, beautiful culture. And also, don't eat at your cousin's house. We don't fuck with her like that. You know what I'm saying? That kind of thing. So for you to pull the rug over the eyes or pull the wool over the eyes of that many people from that culture, this man had to be a fucking master. But at the same time, you sleep in the bed with this man. And from the story that you're telling me, you actively had to choose ignorance in order to bring this man into intimate proximity with your friends and families and loved ones. And also, I don't think that those people really fuck with you like that. They can't care about you like that to see that you're going through all this, even the little that they could have possibly known. What do you mean I'm your best friend and your man stole $200K from my husband, and then you come back to me a week later and tell me that you got engaged, and I don't grab you by the neck and tell you to run? Your friends don't love you. Your friends probably thought that was also the best that you could do, and you thought that was the best that you could do, and the only way that you could think that is if you're lost in the delusions of white supremacy. I'm so sorry to say it. There's no other way to talk about it. There's nothing else to say. The story actually just pisses me off. The only way Onyeka can turn this around is if she reflects on all the money that she lost, all the time that she wasted. Mind you, she's in the story doing weird shit. Like she's talking about a night that this man ran out and he got caught like with a speculative sex worker, and she's like, yeah, I mean, she didn't even look like she was worth $40 or something like that. I'm like, babe, you're really not in the position to be judging anybody who may or may not be a sex worker or a hooker or a prostitute or whatever. This man robbed you for $30K and robbed your friend for $200K. All right, I don't think you're really in the position to talk about the monetary value that anyone else is worth or brings. Hello? At least that girl, if she was a sex worker, at least she got paid. You got robbed. What the fuck? You got this nigga on payroll. I do not think you're in the position. At one point in the story, she talks about how this man came to her like every day for a week straight, talking about today was the worst day in the world, and then followed up immediately by asking her for money. And he talks about how the IRS, the Denmark IRS, the Dutch IRS or whatever, freezes his accounts. And she's like, yeah, and I mean, he's going to court for it and he's working it out. And at this point, all I can do is trust him. That's the last thing what do you mean? At this point, all you can do is trust him. She's actively releasing her agency in this situation. There is something to say about the contemporary sprinkle, whatever the fuck. I'm a princess. I deserve princess treatment, and my man is I can turn off my brain and my man is gonna take care of it. Like that, like current wave of something being spun as feminism, whatever, that actually primes this situation where I'm like, this woman is willing to put everything on the line, including her own safety and future and the safety and future of her loved ones and family, in order to like live in this fantasy world where this literal prince from another nation is going to sweep her off her feet and take care of everything. And it like there is a dissertation there. It's not for me to give. So I got to move on. But the only way for her to justify all of this and come out on top is if she partners with an airline. Onyeka, go ahead and partner with Emirates Airline. Since you're taking so many fucking trips and shit, partner with JetBlue. That would be worthwhile. That's what I want to see out of this situation. Guys, look, there's nothing to really spin. That's just it. It's just awful and uncomfortable the whole time. I feel for this girl because she so desperately needs to do a lot of deep and intimate work. There's not much commentary to be had about it. But that being said, the story pissed me off the entire time, dude. It pissed me off the entire time. It pissed me off every minute that I watched it. I'm glad that I didn't finish it. And every time I have to spend time thinking about it, it pisses me off. Damn it, let's move on. Okay. Have you guys heard about the quarter zip movement? The quarter zip movement is a TikTok trend. It's a movement. It's not a trend. It's a movement. Started by a creator named Jason Giamafi. Jason is Ghanaian, and he made this video. And I saw the video, and it was satirical. It was like ironic. He was like, yeah, we're not doing the Nike Techs no more. Yeah, we're quarter zip. We do quarter zips now. You know what I mean? We're business professionals. We do business casual now or whatever the fuck. You know what I mean? He was kind of making fun of a thing. And then another video came, and eventually it got called the quarter zip movement, where young black men all over the internet were ditching their Nike Techs and picking up quarter zips, like business casual quarter zips. And honestly, dude, it's like really funny. It's really funny what people are doing with it. You know what I mean? The ways that they're kind of like reimagining what black identity, black male identity online can look like and present itself as. Honestly, it's really fun. It's really fun what these guys are doing. You know, they're turning it into a conversation about black male identity, how men present themselves online, how they show up in terms of their style. It's really cool, man. I think what's really exciting is that a lot of people are thinking of this as like a type of entryway, a gateway into black dandyism. Black dandyism is kind of the style movement that the Met Gala was based on. I think this last year they had a movement around black dandyism, and it was really cool. Pharrell and all of these cool like black male style icons were co-heads of the Met Gala along with Anna Wintour. And like the thought that like this actually on a deeper level, this is about the liberation of the masculine identity from the confines of a Nike Tech. It's these kids who are like, we drink matcha now. We wear quarter zips, and maybe that might lead to suspenders. Black men being allowed to present themselves wear things in ways that they don't necessarily feel like they had permission to wear them in the past. That's awesome. You know, black dandyism is like it's a historical movement. It's like a political movement around fashion. It's kind of a reclamation of a European laws that demanded that, you know, people dandify their servants, they're black servants, right? In order to bring your servant out into public, you had to make sure that they were presentable, almost as like styling your servant as like a luxury accessory in a very dandy way. As a higher class person than a servant might actually be, as an accessory that reflects your own status in society, your own class in society, that your servant can be so well dressed, right? Eventually, it becomes this kind of reclamation. It becomes like a type of political resistance that black people are humanizing themselves. Having taste is a very human thing to have, right? Taste is a very human thing to have. Likes and dislikes and aesthetic preferences. It's a very human thing to possess. And for people who subscribe to black dandyism, it's like, what better way is there to humanize myself than to demonstrate that I have tastes and preferences and likes and dislikes and opinions, in particular about the things that I wear, about fashion. That's fucking awesome. You know, Andre Talley and Pharrell are like really contemporary examples, but this goes all the way back. W.E.B. Du Bois, when you look at him with that fucking curly Q mustache, that's dandyism, I love. Like dandyism exists throughout black American resistance history. Not just black American, black global black resistance history. Sorry, let me say. But there's a dark side to the quarter zip movement, which is that it is getting a little anti-black. I'm not going to lie to you. And I think that people keep joking that the quarter zip movement is like making the CIA upset because black men are breaking the mold that has been like prescribed to them. Black men are no longer wearing the Nike Techs. They don't want to wear ski masks anymore, like who are doing the, you know, the black men who are doing the quarter zip movement at least. And the CIA is like, damn, we almost got him. But actually, I think the CIA is very excited to see it because instead, there is like a group of black men and black people who are like, yeah, I don't wear those thug clothes anymore. And you guys think that I'm joking or exaggerating, but I'm actually not. I've seen comments around this quarter zip movement from black people that sound like a Charlie Kirk tweet. It's fucking crazy for real, dude. Like, I get it. You got a Polo, you got a Ralph Lauren, you got a whatever quarter zip. There is a lot of elitism that's coming out of the quarter zip movement. You know what I'm saying? It's like, nah, dog, you can wear the quarter zips without calling people who wear Nike Techs or making jokes and skits about how people who wear Nike Techs or, people who dress in styles that we understand as like black, streetwear, whatever, logomania, whatever, right? You don't have to say that those people are ghetto, nasty, unclean, unprofessional, whatever the fuck, just because you decided that you don't want to wear that stuff anymore and now you wear quarter zips. You sound kind of ridiculous. You know what I mean? And it all started kind of ironic and as a joke, and it's a joke until it's not funny, right? It's a joke until it's not funny. And you know what? Look, I'm just gonna say it. Y'all want to take it there? If you want to play the elitism game, let's get elite. Have y'all niggas ever read the care tag on some fucking cashmere? Talking about I got a quarter zip now. Nigga, you don't even know what merino wool is. Motherfucker. You got one quarter zip, you think you somebody. Uppity ass nigga. Fuck, you really know about it. You think because you drink matcha, you different now? It really is crazy to see people flip and be like, yeah, what's wrong with black men wanting to be presentable? Why do you have to wear clothes that are associated with white people in order to be presentable? Not to say that like a quarter zip is white, but to say like, the subtext of the joke. You get what the fuck is going on. Let's not be obtuse about it. Right. Like when you really deconstruct what is professionalism and the code and who constructed that code and who it serves, right? The dress codes that they made up in the club in the early 2000s, late 2000s to discourage black patrons that forced everyone to start wearing business casual to the club. Why? Really break it down why you think a quarter zip is like the gateway entry point to, classy, elegant elitism. And why you think a Nike Tech suddenly is dirty, nasty, unkempt, unprofessional, so on and so forth. Like, there is a reason why. And if you ask the follow-up question, you might not like the answer. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, all that to say, dude, if the quarter zip movement is a gateway, like, I think that it is. If it is a gateway that offers, like, black men the opportunity to break the matrix, you know what I'm saying? Like, dude, I'm a sweater guy. I've never really subscribed to... I've always kind of had my own eclectic style. Like, I like the things that I like. I like knits. I like sweaters. I like things that kind of hug my body in a particular way. You know what I mean? There are certain environments, like black environments. When I went to the club in Paris, it was a super black club. And I was like, I don't have the clothes to really fit in here like that. Like, this is a particular aesthetic. And that's not my aesthetic, but I'm still black. And so this is still my club. You get me? But I understand that, like, I have my own thing going on. You know what I'm saying? I understand that, like, I have my own sense of style, my own eye, my own tastes, my own thing evolved. And I want that for other black men, bro. I want you to go out and find the things that you really love, break the script and break the mold that you feel like is being prescribed to you. But it really is crazy to open a comment section on a video about the quarter zip movement and see black men talking to other black men like fucking Ron DeSantis. Holy shit, that internalized anti-blackness is gonna jump out. That's not what the movement is about for real, but it kind of is going that way. And I actually think this dude Jason has done such a good job of like centering this around a real type of like positivity, dude. This guy Jason, who is the center of this thing, is doing such a good job centering the positivity, the growth, the inspiration, the ambition inside of it, turning it from this kind of ironic, satirical thing into something that's like a bit more sincere. He's done such a good job at that. I actually think it's such a waste and unfortunate to see people start to like sow the seeds of hatefulness inside of it and like anti-blackness inside of it. I don't want to see that happen to this young brother and the work that he's trying to do. Like, I think the shit that he's doing is really fly, actually. And I want people to use it as the opportunity that it's meant to be, to ask more meaningful questions about what styles have been offered to them and what styles they're being policed into, so that they can liberate themselves into being more expressive, more creative people inside of their own style. You get what I'm saying? Anyway, anime evangelicalism. Hey guys, I would never go on a mission trip. I think it's weird. Like I said earlier, my family's Haitian. You guys know this about me. I'm Haitian. I have met so many white people who, when I tell them I'm Haitian, they go, "Oh my God, I went on a mission trip to Haiti." Or like, "Wow, I worked in Haiti on a mission for 4 years. Oh yeah, my church does a mission trip to Haiti every year." And it gets weird. Those people are always the weirdest. Not the weirdest. Actually, the weirdest are also white South Africans. Always fucking weird. Never in my life met a white South African who didn't immediately make the shit uncomfortable. Actually. But yeah, mission trip people, it's difficult for me. The political history of mission trips and Christianity as a colonial tool and all of that, blah, 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 right? I don't know that I would go to a country in the global south and try to convert them to Christianity from whatever faith they already believe in. That feels weird to me. That feels not okay to me. I was once a child in Florida walking home alone from school when I was stopped by a pair of Mormon missionaries, and that made me a Mormon for a couple of months, which is why I empathize with what the people on The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives are going through. I would never go to another country and try to convert those people in the name of the Lord and Savior Jesus Christ. Me personally, I wouldn't do it. But if you told me to go to a remote village in the hills of Argentina and try to hand them a copy of My Hero Academia, I would absolutely do it. I believe in anime evangelicalism. You guys don't even understand how hard I push for the people in my life to pick up some fucking anime. I truly believe that it would change lives. And you know what? When I think about how much I believe that a little bit of anime would change everybody's life drastically, I can't even judge the evangelicals anymore. I can't judge missionaries because I'm in my everyday life at every opportunity trying to find out what anime is going to get someone hooked on the genre. I'm telling people, have you heard of Attack on Titan? Have you heard of Full Metal Alchemist? Have you heard of My Hero Academia? Have you heard of Jujutsu Kaisen? Have you heard of Fruit Basket? Have you heard of Nana? Have you heard? It's ridiculous. Have you heard of Freerun? The people in my life are actually they're running out of patience with me because it's getting pushy. One of the shows that I've been watching since like 2014, My Hero Academia, is on its final season right now. I've spent more than 10 years of my life following these characters, and it's all about to come to an end. And when I tell you that the end is fucking peak, dude. Season 2, I was like, this is the best show ever. Season 3, the best show ever. Season 4, the best show ever. Season 5, I had questions. Season 6, I wasn't sure. Season 7, fucking peak. Season 8, I think this is, hold on, let me check this out. There's this metric that people talk about on IMDb, which is like shows, TV series that have like 5 consecutive episodes with IMDb ratings above a 9, and this is like 5 consecutive, like back-to-back episodes, right? And this is like a pretty rare occurrence. So Better Call Saul did it in season 5 episodes back-to-back. Breaking Bad also did it. The show called Dark did it. Game of Thrones did it in season 4. Lost did it in season 3. Mr. Robot, which is a great show, did it in season 4. What they don't have listed here, you know another show that did it? Attack on Titan. Incredible show. And Attack on Titan did it twice. Attack on Titan has 2 separate sequences of 5 consecutive episodes that all have above a 9 back to back to back to back. These are some of the greatest stories ever written known to man. And the thing that really like upsets me, bro, is that I can tell someone, you got to get into anime. These are some of the best stories ever known to man. In a genre that is going to be new and thrilling to you. And they'll be like, no, I'm not really into that. And I know that person watches every season of Love Island USA. It's so frustrating for me to be like, hey man, you should check out this anime. It's about the intergenerational inheritance of trauma and the violence of war and genocide and how that can manifest in the continuing cycle. And they're like, no, I like the Vampire Diaries. You suck, dude. You're rewatching Gilmore Girls for the 4th time. And you won't watch this show that I know is going to revolutionize your mind, man. Again, when we talk about the AD and BC of culture, there is before Attack on Titan and there is after Attack on Titan. There is nothing in between, man. It really fucking changes you. This show, My Hero Academia, that's going through its 8th season right now. Oh my God, the animation is incredible. Like, dude, I'm like, when I tell you the last 2 seasons, almost every episode is an emotional roller coaster. It makes me laugh. It makes me cry. It makes me scream at the top of my lungs in excitement. It makes me hype, man. It's like I'm watching The Red Wedding again and again and again and again, but it's not about the gore and the violence and the shock. It makes me feel that large of an emotion that The Red Wedding made me feel, but like I'm also Rocky Balboa at the top of the hill. You get me? The episode, I just showed one of my coworkers when we were off stage. We have a huge chunk of time during the show where we're off stage. And I said, hey, buddy, can you watch this? There's an episode of My Hero Academia that's happening that just aired on season 8. It's called The Final Boss. It has a 9.8 rating on IMDb. I showed him 20 minutes of the episode. No context. The shit moved him. No context. He's like, that was awesome. I'm so grateful to this genre that as a child, you know what I mean? As a child, taught me the themes of like the importance of community and friendship, how to believe in myself. I'm watching characters in real time pursue their dreams inspire each other, inspire me for like decades at a time, years at a time. I'm watching these, and these are stories that, American TV, you get renewed for another season and then you write another season. So people are always writing in real time. These animes are written in advance. They are planned in advance. The shit that happens in Attack on Titan, I'm like, every single piece of this was meticulously placed. There was no real time. I gotta figure this shit out, and there's no dead ends. It's a perfect loop. It's incredible every time. Who am I to know that like this genre had such a deep impact on me? It taught me principles of philosophy, ethics, morality. You know what I mean? It taught me how to engage with history and empathy and community. It taught me so much. And I know that there are people moving through this world and they have not felt the light of the Lord. And by the light of the Lord, I mean they have not seen Sasuke and Naruto fight in the valley. How am I supposed to sit in that and not try to put a nigga on? I can't do that. I can't leave you in your ignorance like that. Come over here and come watch this goddamn TikTok edit of Full Metal Alchemist. And you know what? The stats show that Christianity is losing numbers, that like people are losing faith at higher rates in America, at least, right? People are becoming less and less spiritual. I'm telling you right now, if Christianity wants to get back on top, turn the Bible into an anime. Turn the gospel into an anime. Show them. If you want people to turn to Jesus as a savior, you need to let Reddit power scale him against Satoru Gojo. You will create new believers. You will inspire faith in people who never had it before. The Bible as an anime? David and Goliath as an anime? What? Noah and the Ark as an anime? Jesus and his 30-odd years as an anime? The resurrection as an anime? Easter as an anime? Him coming from the tomb as an anime? What the? Come on, man. Walking on water as an anime? They did that in Naruto. And it changed my life. You can fight it for as long as you want, but if you want people filling those pews, coming through those church doors, you got to meet them where they're at, and they're on Crunchyroll. This is just me wanting to tell you that there's a show that I love, maybe more than any other show I've ever watched. It's called My Hero Academia, and there are a lot of people who are going to tell you that it's not good, or that it's not worth it, or that it's annoying, or that it's whatever, and I'm telling you, it is one of the most important things I've ever watched. I mean, it really is it's so uplifting, and it's not sugar and candy. It's pretty dense, man. I think people don't give it the credit that it deserves. The first time it ever made me cry was with one of its side characters. It's a character named Endeavor. He has the ability to manifest and manipulate fire, right? He can like blast fire from all over his body and his palms, and he uses it to fly and all this stuff. He has a family that hates him. His son is a good friend to the protagonist, so we know more about his son in the beginning than we know about him. His son absolutely hates him. His son's name is Todoroki. Todoroki has fire powers from his father and ice powers from his mother. His mother's in the hospital. We don't know what's wrong with her. We don't know what the situation is, but we know that this family is fractured, and they all of the children hate their father, and their dad is an asshole. And when the number one hero is no longer able to be that for people, he's no longer able to serve his duty as the number one hero and the symbol of hope, the number two hero has to step up. Endeavor is the number two hero. And we watch this man who is almost hated by his family, resented by his sons, who people see the worst in, including us as the audience. We see him choose to turn a new leaf and become a symbol for peace and hope and joy for people in the world. He chooses to step away from the darkness and the anger and the frustration that he feels, and instead step into a new version of himself. He reinvents himself spontaneously, and he does it metaphorically through like fire, but also physically through fire in this immaculate fight. This is in season 4 of the show. We watch his sons call out to him, cheer for him as he's fighting this like big bad. You know what I'm saying? You watch Endeavor be reborn as a new man. From that episode forward, we watch a character who is weighed down by regret, by remorse, by dissatisfaction, by the hurt that he's caused the people around him. We watch him shed this character that we've hated up until this point. We watch him episode by episode do the work. And I'm talking about like a character who's a grown man, a father with children, do the work to heal his own family, to show remorse and repent and ask for forgiveness and try to start anew. with the people that he loves the most, man. People will be like, oh yeah, this shit is for kids, it's for kids. This is not, I mean, it could be, sure, but it's not just like some kid shit. This is about a fucking father trying to heal the fractures that he's almost let ruin a generation, multiple generations of his own family, and how he shows up day after day in atonement for that. This story about a man, a father, and his atonement for his sins against his own family, for the hurt that he's caused them, and their forgiveness of him. That's a B plot. That's not even the main fucking plot. The story between the protagonist and the deuterotagonist, the two main characters, who it's like an enemies to lovers friendship. It's one of the most romantic platonic relationships I've ever seen, dude. This shit is moving. There's nothing like it in this world. When Steph and I first started dating at a sublet, I was staying with a friend at the time, and she was coming over, and I was like, hey man, we can't watch My Hero when Steph gets here. I don't want her to know that I'm on this weird anime shit because people are judgmental. I shouldn't have been shy about it, but whatever. I was like, let me trap her emotionally before I let her find out that I like anime a lot. And anyway, somehow, some way, we decided to just keep watching it. She came in. She's like, what is this? It was like some episode in season 2. She watches like 2 episodes back to back with us before we move on. And then she leaves and goes back to her place. A couple days later, she texts me and she's like, hey, I caught up to season 3. I binged it. I love this show. Now it's like a show that we watch and enjoy together, dude. We're watching this show, and like it's such a beautiful time of year for us. She loves anime. I mean, she watches it on her own now. She has a bunch of anime that she just watches without me. Anime is not a genre, it's a medium, and there are genres inside the medium. There's shonen, there's shoujo, there's seinen, and all of these are like geared towards different demographics, and they have different subject matters. She loves the like girly pop, romance anime, slice of life anime. She loves those. She has a bunch that she watches without me. But all that to say, man, bro, I'm not a Bible thumper, but I am a manga thumper. You got to get on this. You got to get on this. It's like it's like the zeitgeist of the world right now, you know? At this point, if you're not watching anime, it's like, what's up with you? You sound ridiculous. I know you've seen every Twilight movie and you don't think anything's weird about that. But if I told you to watch an anime that is like critically acclaimed, you laugh? You think that's ridiculous? That's fucking embarrassing, dude. Anyway, we're at time. Sorry, I got kind of serious at the end there about anime. I mean, it means so much to me. Anyway, I gotta go. Listen, I love you so much. Thanks for making it through this episode. I hope it hasn't been long. I literally told you that I was going to start the timer, and then I didn't. I didn't start even one timer. Maybe that's not a good structure for the show because I keep forgetting. Or maybe I just need like a personal assistant here to be like, shut the fuck up and move on. Anyway, my name is Widlin. If you want to support the show, all you have to do is, like, subscribe, leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think, and let me know if there's anything that you want me to talk about by, leaving it in the comment down below. Something existential maybe. Or if there's something online that you noticed and you think that I would think is interesting, then you can tag me on Instagram or on TikTok, send it my way, send it to my DM. I'll check it out. I'll try to stay on top of that stuff. Thank you so much for being here. And if you want to support the show in like more metric material way, then check this out on Spotify. I know that you're already here on YouTube, but I'm trying to get the numbers jumping over on Spotify or on Apple Music, which we are streaming to as well. It's also 10 at a time by Widlin Pureville. Let me think what else, dude. I don't know. Share it with a friend. Follow me on Instagram and TikTok at @NotWidlin. Anywhere I want you to find me. This has been 10 at a time. My name is Widlin, and I will see you next time. Okay, bye.